If Kevin says no, it's no.
Yeah, that's how he was. He was very. That's how the director was. After that meeting, he was like, if he says no, no. You guys listen to him.
Is your wife the same? If
My
you
wife is very. My wife is more this way than I am because I'm like I let my kids do dangerous things and I'm like yeah it's fine yeah you can skateboard in the house. My wife is like no, and I love her for that because she keeps me on the straight and narrow. If not, our house would
You
be caught on
see,
fire.
yeah. Women, yeah, the wife is always right.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. My mom was the same way. My mom was the one who doled out the punishment.
Really?
Ah! Yeah. Yeah. Old Catholic Europe, like from Portugal, like they didn't know any better. It was like, yeah, that's how it was.
Oh, but that's so great. But Kevin, tell me about your school, where you train.
Oh yeah. So I when I was many years into doing stunts, I always wanted to open up a stunt school, especially when I was training under Kim Kahana Sr., who just passed away a couple weeks ago. And I said, I really want to open up something like this. This is a lot of fun, and I enjoy it, and it keeps that energy going. So I opened up one with I always wanted to. Somebody reached out to me and said, "How serious are you opening with the school?" And I said, "Well, I'm super serious." He goes, "Well, I'll back you. I'll be the money guy if you want to open a school." I
Wow.
said, "Yeah, yeah." It was, and so I couldn't say no. I said, "Sure, let's do it." It's all my equipment. He backs the space, and he really helps me with the promotions. And since then, yeah, we've been at it for what 7 months now, and we have a good clientele. I've been on the news 6, 7 times or something like that.
Wow. Mm.
Yeah, I'm doing something for a big client in 2 months, which is the paperwork I'm doing now.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah, yeah, I have to get everything ready for that.
Mm.
And yeah, so what I do is I train actors how to do stunts safely. Um, I'm very adamant. I'm very adamant, and I'm very straightforward with them. I'll tell them, don't be offended by what I say. It's nothing personal, but I'll also say if this is for you or this isn't for you.
Professional
I've had to
stuntman
turn two
Kevin
people
Rego and
away
David
who
Siracusa are
because
the
it's
owners of
physical. It's
Casey and
very
Fox
physically
Stunt Team.
demanding. You have to be, and you have to have it up here. I had a guy come in, and he wasn't. He just had a heart attack. Couldn't pick him up. Couldn't pick himself up. Couldn't do any of the physical stuff, and I had to say, "Hey, this isn't for you. If you're looking for a gym, I can recommend tons of gyms and physical therapy. This isn't it. This like
Yeah.
you can't I can't train like this. This is for people to walk on set and a coordinator be like, okay, this guy can do the job.
Mm.
This isn't right." And I was like, this isn't for you. Maybe 2, 3 years from now, maybe, but right now, no. Oh, and it's got to be. How can I say this? Like it's that perfect example. So I have two actresses who came in, and they had. I know. Also, I find that the stunt women in my school are tougher than the stunt guys. Hardcore,
Really? I
completely
love
night
that.
and day.
I love that you said that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I find that in general, women are harder than men. Like more, they'll take risks, but they also calculate it more.
Mm.
Where the guys are like, I don't know, they get a little wishy washy, make excuses, and this is where I go back to like, please don't be offended by what I say and how I say it to you. I yell at all the guys. I'm like, what are you doing? And then I turn around and the two actors that I was going to speak about, where they came in not knowing anything and they just absorbed everything.
Who broke my stair? You're paying for that, Missy.
Oh, bro, she's extra. She goes above and beyond when I'm doing a gag. She'll be like, I just need you to fall. She'll fall, do a backflip, and do all these crazy things. I'm like, bro, I just asked you to fall once. Cut.
Now what I do is I literally turn to these two stunt women. I call them stunt women now. I say, hey, set up A, B, C, and D. And this will be the stunts. And they take over. They're tying knots. They're doing everything.
Wow.
And then I'm back at the guys and I'm like, dude, I just need you to pick up a tire. Are you like, you can't do a push-up? The girl just did like a 4-minute plank and you're like struggling doing one push-up. This isn't for you. Yeah. So, and I feature those women all the time whenever I do promos. It's usually the same two women over and over and over and over and over
Wow.
again. Yeah.
Well, I heard this is now the third thing that I heard that women are better at. One is fishing. For some reason, women are better at fishing. And
I-
the other thing is, I heard actually pilots. They say women make great pilots. Yeah.
Yep.
And now
This-
you're saying women are making good stunt
Yep.
women. Yeah.
Yeah, and back in the day, women were better. And I didn't know this. My wife is she tells me a lot about women history and film. She said that back in the day, women were better painters in the Technicolor than the men because the men are too clumsy, and I totally agree. Our big man hands just can't do finesse, and I think anything that has to do with finesse, I think me personally, 8 out of 10 times, a woman will do it better. And I completely agree. Completely agree. I was the first. You're better than me.
Well, I tell you, the woman's going to love you for this, and the men's going to hate you for this.
Oh, that's fine. I call those guys out all the time. I'm like, bro, man, you gotta take that chip off your shoulder. It's not just they just have this innate ability. I don't know what it is. It's there in nature. I think guys, our egos get in the way of letting those things happen.
I
And even
know.
then, we don't have. It's okay to say, "Hey, I'm not good at that." It's okay, but some guys don't want to hear it. That happened on a stunt where I had an actor didn't want to take notes, and he actually put the rest of the people at danger. And I said, "Dude, do you want me to do you want her to teach you how to do this? Because you're not listening to me, and I'm the guy who put it all together." Yeah.
Amazing. But so you teach then actors, but do you also get people who are interested in joining the industry? Like
Yep.
stunts that want to become a stunt woman or stunt man.
Yep. I get that a lot. Actually, that's I got a few. They'll come in, they'll ask me a bunch of questions, and I'll say the same thing, like, we're all on the same journey. Like, I may be 25 years in and you may be a year in, but like in that year, you might end up working a lot more than I will in the next, because that just happens. It goes back to it's not what you know, it's just who you know and what you look like at the time. And luck comes into it. But I get people asking me questions like, how do I get in? I'll say, well, it's easier now for you than it was for me back then, because I didn't have internet, or it was hard to get groups going to train. Now we have like Instagram, so we're like, oh, that's how you did this? Cool, let me learn off of that. Back then you had to like find people. You had to go physically find people. Now it's just
And now also people can show what they can do, and that's probably very impressive as well.
Yeah. And it's I had a coordinator tell me once, again, this is, pretty much before the internet, it was when I was just starting out. He told me, whatever you put on your CV, your resume, make sure it's true. Because if not, last thing you want to do is get called out on it, A, at an audition or interview, or B, on set and somebody gets hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And he actually told me this. We were 70 feet in the air tying ropes. And he asked me, have you ever stunt rigged before? I was like, Jason, I don't know any of it. I'm 22. I don't know anything. And he goes, come on, you're going to go with me. And we're all the way up in the air across this catwalk, this big, across. And I'm looking down at all the people who I was working with looking like ants. And he's telling me all these questions. And I said, what am I doing up here? And he's asking me these questions, telling me all, passing on this knowledge. And that's when he said, whatever you put on your resume, make sure you can back it. And I was like,
well, that's great advice, and especially in this career that you are in, because I'm sure you don't get many chances when something goes wrong.
I hope to God nothing goes wrong. I hope to God. And if it goes wrong, that everyone can act like a team. If not, let there be at least one other person besides me who can like take charge.